I feel like shit.
Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days.
It's just one of
Friday,
those
happy days. The weekend comes, let's not go on.
It's just one of those days where you don't wanna wake up. Everything is everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you wanna justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet is
Just knock it off, you scum fuckhead.
it's just one of those days. It's just one of
Monday,
those.
happy days.
It's just one of
Tuesday,
those.
happy days.
It's just one of
Friday,
those
happy days.
days.
The weekend comes, let's not go on. Ready to make
It's just one of those days, feeling like a freight train. First one to complain, please with the blood stain. Damn right, I'm a maniac. You better you, cause I'm fucking up your program. And if you're stuck up, you just locked up. Next in line to get fucked up. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just,
I'm losing my cool.
it's all
Monday,
about,
happy days.
it's just one of
Tuesday,
those,
happy days.
it's just one of
Friday, happy
those
days.
days.
The weekend comes, let's not go on. Ready to make
I feel like shit. My suggestion is distance. Right now I'm dangerous. Right now I'm dangerous.
Something's happening to the bonds.
My day keeps going this way and this way.
I'm gonna pop you one so you'll stop playing games.
Give me something great. Give me something great. I hope you know I pack a chainsaw. A chainsaw. A motherfucking chainsaw.
What?
So come and get it.
What we got here is a case of mistaken identity, you know?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and fellow Moodsters. My name is Chief Moody, and welcome to episode 21 of the Mood of the Nation podcast. Now, let me just firstly get this out of the way. I really want to apologize for my lateness. In fact, someone in the chat even just said it's about 14 or 15 minutes late. Yeah, Rory Herbert, thank you for pointing that out, sir. The reason why I was late was mainly because my laptop at the very last minute decided to update itself once again. So I was getting everything sorted out, got my microphone, got my earphones, got my articles up on my laptop, and everything was all ready to go. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, my laptop decided, "Oh, we need to have an update. Will this be okay to to have an update on your laptop?" I thought, right. I'll update the laptop, and hopefully it won't go on too long, right? Now, this was at 5:30, just before the stream started, half an hour before. So I did that, and I was still waiting. Then it got to 10 to 6, and again, I was still waiting, and round about 5 to 6, that's when it officially started updating. Now, to be fair, it did eventually got quicker and quicker as it went along, but it was still taking its time to fully update itself. So that's the reason why I was late this evening. Again, my apologies for that. Hopefully it will not happen again. I even did posted a Telegram update about that, just to let people know that, hey, I'm still streaming tonight, but there's going to be a bit of lateness due to the fact that there's an update on my laptop. My laptop, of course, was being incredibly gay because of that. So again, my apologies, but I'm here now, so hopefully we'll get right into the episode, as I've got quite a couple of articles to go over tonight. Let me just have a look and see who's in the chat this fine evening before I go on. Jose, hello, how are you doing? Thank you for watching. We also have Tina, good evening from Sweden. Good evening to you too. Budgie Burger, how you doing? Nativist Warning, good evening to you too. Amanda Lee, same to yourself, good evening. Streaky Bacon, again, good evening to you too. What Tyler 1381, as per usual, thank you for watching the stream. Dornan Fox, as per usual, thank you for watching. Rory Herbert, as I pointed out before, thank you for watching the stream. I'll try and make this as brief as I possibly can. We also have Jojo Gizmo, thank you for watching as well. Let me see. Oh yes, I'm happy as my soap from Jodie's company arrived. That's good. That's good to see that you're supporting your fellow nationalists like Jodie Kay and our Claire regarding to their soap brand. I would definitely check out the soap brand if you haven't done so already, of course. Senza Camino, how you doing? Thank you for sharing the stream as well, right here. Sat here with my Grandma Taller's tea. I feel like a proper friend. That's fair enough. I haven't made myself a cup of Grandma Taller's tea at the moment, although I did have one during lunch. But it was still really good tea nonetheless. I got myself a bottle of water, but maybe next time on Thursday I'll give myself like a Grandma Taller's tea. So we'll see from there. Let me see. Yeah, even saying that. The chief has joined the Taliban. I think no, that's not the case whatsoever, as explained earlier on. So, dear, Tola timing. Yeah, I think. I think this time around, just for this one and only time, because of what happened with the laptop, the behavior. The Taliban has eradicated COVID. It's 0 cases. Let me see. Yeah, of course, the classic Chief Moody meme is going around during these streams. Barbecue Chief. So, is the Chief out on the pitch with Jimmy Cranky's sister? Oh dear. Barbecue hangover. Tina has pointed out as well. Let me see. We also have. He's had a curry last night. No, that's not the case. Although, to be fair, Durham Fox, I'm actually in the mood for a curry tonight, but not entirely too sure if that's going to happen or not. So I'll figure something out after the stream ends for something to eat. But we'll also have here Hightower005. How you doing? Thank you for watching the stream. Ragnar Iron Spear, as per usual. Thank you for watching. I think that's about... Oh, James Hayworth, thank you for watching the stream. We appreciate you being here. And also RW, even to you too. And I think that's all up to date. Henry Hill, of course, and also Gamma Sandwich. There we go. I think, again, it's all up to date with the chat in terms of who's here. Good Goy, even to you too. Thank you for watching the stream. Colin Gibson, I don't know if I mentioned you already, but thank you for watching the stream as well. Rambling Rattlesnake, how you doing? Or howdy. Carlos Saxon, thank you for watching the stream. That's what you get for using the Devil Spawn operating system. That's true. That's very true. So, dear. I appreciate the chat. Like, your banter is really good. So, the chat really loves you, Chief Moody. Well, thank you for Tina. I love you. I love you guys too. Not in a gay way, but yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. So it's awesome of you guys. I do appreciate your banter. So especially the barbecue stuff, we definitely should keep that going as like a running gag or a running meme throughout the future episodes and whatnot. So anyway, what was the first thing I was going to talk about? I know I'm going to touch upon a couple of articles, especially one that was talked about during this week with the S&P, which I'll definitely get into that in just a couple of seconds. One bit of an update I have at the moment is throughout this week, I'm not sure if it's going to be this Thursday coming or next Thursday. I'll need to speak to the person in question, but I'm going to be having a guest on one Thursday, just before I take my week and a half long break. And even then, what else I was going to say? On episode 23 or 24 of Mood of the Nation, I'll also have another guest on. Again, I'm not going to mention who those guests will be because I want to keep it, as per usual, like a secret or like a surprise for you guys. And also to keep you guys on your toes, like, well, who's it going to be? Is it going to be this person? Is it going to be that person? You know, it just to keep you guys guessing. So I'm not going to mention who those guests will be, but as I said, keep them a surprise. But all I will say is they will be appearing on the show at some point. I'll need to get a confirmation on one person or the two for the Thursday episode. Again, this is all going to be happening just before I go on my week and a half long break and then come back for episode 25. So there we go. So let's have a look here and see. 1 second. Chief Moody, and what version of Windows are you using? I'll send some. English Sailor, hello. Thank you for watching the stream. Tricky Who, thank you for watching as well. Rumor has it that the jab enlarges one's reality. It turns out one into effect, and transhumanism is the elite's age-old wet dream. See, I don't know if today will be the perfect day to cover COVID, because I know I mentioned this before. I was going to talk about or having one episode be a COVID special type of episode, but I think, and I know I did say I was going to postpone it for today, but I think I'll leave that for at some point, because I know with COVID there's a lot of stuff covering that already. So I really want to keep it as consistent as humanly possible. So, of course, work is in the way, other personal things going on in my life that are going on just now that might get in the way with that. So, I think what I'll do is for one Mood of the Nation episode covering COVID, especially what's going on just now, I think I'll save it until I think I'm ready to talk about it, just let you guys know with that. That being said, I do have a couple of topics we can talk about this fine evening today, especially one about the S&P, which we'll cover in a second. From Streaky Bacon, I hope I do turn into half a robot. It will be great fun, I think. Never really thought of that, but yeah, it might be a bit of fun. But then again, I don't know if if you want to do it permanent or maybe just like give it a try, but who knows. So let's just get right into the first topic at hand. So I've just got my notes here, and we've got the article from the Telegraph. Now, since I mentioned the Telegraph, I'm pretty sure you all know what I'm going to be talking about. As I mentioned earlier on, this was covered throughout this past week, and everyone was talking about this. Everyone was not happy about this whatsoever. And obviously, of course, I can understand why, because what I'm going to be talking about just now, this is blatant child abuse by the SNP, and I'll cover that in just a second. Hide that just now on the screen here. There we go. It's this article from the Telegraph. Oh, and of course, hit that like button, dissidents. That's true. Definitely hit the like button. If you're also new to the channel, please subscribe to my channel as well for future episodes of Mood of the Nation, and also at some point in the future, maybe singular videos. Don't know when they'll come out. I have written scripts for them, and I haven't done recording for them whatsoever, but they will be coming at some point. So keep your eyes peeled for that. So. Terminator. I'm wondering if that's a reference to Arnold Schwarzenegger's comment about screw your freedom, which it's so sad to see Arnold Schwarzenegger being a complete simp, because back in the 80s he was like the definition of like a Chad type of person, with being like a big action star or whatnot. But now he's just a complete simp at this point. It's just. Screw your freedom. Okay. One absolute joke he's become at this point. Just a complete simp. Jacqueline Watt, hello, how you doing? Thank you for watching the stream. Just quickly from Streaky Bacon. If the jab turns you cyborg, I want to be a Terminator. I would be the migranator. Oh dear. Let me just have a quick sip of my water, and then we'll get started. What is up on my lid? It just keeps leaking everywhere. Don't know why, but I'll just put it up here. Right. Hold on one sec. Arnold was a terrible governor of California. I have heard that was back in what, 05, 06, or around about the mid 2000s or something like that. That was quite a long while ago. Yeah, but apparently he was not liked as a governor of California. California will do that to you, yeah, of course, which is why no one should ever go to California by any means. It's a complete cesspool of a state. Arnie going back to his family roots with his freedom comment, his brown shirt father would be proud. That's a good point, Carl. That's definitely a good point with regard to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anyway, we'll move on from that, and then we'll get on to the first article by the Telegraph. It's this one here. Scottish 4-year-olds can change gender at school without parents' consent. It's it's a complete clown world we're living in just now, folks. And if you're a parent and if you have kids of your own, I would be advised to be very, very worried about this. Now, even though this is happening in Scotland, I would imagine that at some point this will be going across all of the UK, England, Wales, Northern Ireland, you name it. So let's have a look at this right now and see from there. Oh my God, you're kidding me. This is Jesus Christ. There's also noticed just now that to continue reading, That's perfect time. I'll see if I can figure that out. So let's just have a look at this right now, and then we'll continue on from there. New inclusivity guidelines say teachers should not question pupils, but instead ask them for their new name and pronouns, which is from the heading alone and the subheading there. Already, this is a complete, absolute farce. Like, like you're basically wanting 4-year-olds that don't know the concept of gender or sex or anything like that at all, and you basically want them to get rid of their childhood just so that you can look all progressive and stuff. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Children as young as 4 will be able to change their name and gender at school without their parents' consent under new LGBT inclusivity guidelines drawn up by the Scottish government. Yeah, because I mean, obviously, the parents shouldn't have a say into this. No. Instead, the children who have their own rights, apparently, they get to decide what gender or name they should have, especially at the age of 4. I mean, I'm sure a child at that age is going to understand the concept of gender or transgenderism or anything like that at all. This does not come off as, like trying to spread an agenda or anything like that at all, right? Now, of course, as I can see here, it's doing the really gay thing of having a subscription with that. So I'm curious. Hold on 1 second here. Subscribe free for 1 month. Wonder if I can try something with that. Right. Hold on 1 sec, folks. I'm going to give this a try and then see from there. Hold on 1 sec. When my son was 4 years old, he wanted to be Thomas the Tank Engine. Well, there you go. I think I'm a tablecloth. If I have kids, I'm homeschooling them. Yeah, see, that's another thing, by the way. It's good of you to point that out, Rambling Rattlesnake. I can imagine there will be tons of parents after reading this will think, yeah, that's it. I don't want the school board to interfere with my children or anything like that at all. Instead, I'm just going to start homeschooling them because this is just beyond the joke now. And honestly, if I was, a parent myself, because I don't have any kids at the moment, but if I was a parent myself, I definitely would not be happy with this whatsoever. So I would definitely do the same thing as you, Rambling Rattlesnake. I would definitely homeschool them at this point. Just 1 second. Absolutely sickening abuse. I think when I was 8, I would pretend to be a T-Rex. To say a 4-year-old can decide they are a different sex is just evil. It is evil. It's pure fucking evil. Because like I said, the child at that age is not going to understand those concepts or anything like that at all. So the fact that the SNP and everything to do with with this current Scottish government, with a straight face, mind you, thinking that a child at that age can decide their gender and change their name is absolute pure evil at this point. Absolutely pure evil. Roger the Shrubber, I don't think I've seen you before, but if you're new here, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel and please hit the like button. Your comment reads, we pulled our kids out and homeschooled them now. Best decision we've ever made. Well, that's good to hear, Roger. That's definitely the best decision, in my opinion. Just be careful that the state doesn't come and, basically just kick down your door and then take the children away from you. Because I've seen this going on all across Telegram. Of stories about parents. Of course, this is not just within the UK. This is other westernized countries, parents who decide to homeschool their kids because they're sick and tired of seeing their children being taught all of this lefty propaganda, and they decide, you know what, instead of having my children being indoctrinated by the state, I'm going to decide to start homeschooling them, which is a great decision in my opinion. And then the horrible thing that happens is that the children gets taken away from them because of wrong thing, quote unquote. So I would have advised definitely homeschool your kids, but also be very careful at the same time because they're coming after your kids at this point. They're definitely coming after your kids at this point. Just real quick, RW, if you're watching the stream still, Chief, use this. Is it like a link or anything like that at all, RW? Just want to make sure if you could send that to me on, let me see, on Telegram, if that's okay. Of course, if you're still watching, because I really want to cover that article more. Even though we've only covered the heading and also the subtitle and I think the first paragraph, it's still just beyond the joke at this point. It really is beyond the joke. While we're waiting on that, there's a video I also want to show. Hold on one sec. Yeah, go to Outlook.com. All right, let me have a try at that. Hold on one sec. Thank you for pointing that out, RW. Hold on, Outlook.com. Right, awesome. Let me see here. I'll give that a try. Hopefully this may work. Let me see. Great. We're sorry, but this URL is not supported by Outlook. That's terrific. Right. I wonder if maybe. Hopefully something might be able to. Let's see here. Outline, not Outlet. Right. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. Outline Telegram. Good point, actually. Hold on. Let me try that. Because it's so ridiculous having like a subscription service when it comes to stuff like that. Hold on, let me try this. Right, so not Outlook, but Outline. Right, okay. Let me see. Read and annotate without distractions. Right, let me see. Gotcha. Right, cool. Let me give that a try again, and we'll see from there. Supported, right? That's terrific. I've also noticed in the chat, let me see. Look for it on Google, right? Okay, let me try that. Go on to Google and then Outline. Okay. Well, this is really terrific. See, if it weren't for the subscription services, this would be way easier than I thought regarding to the article. But of course, with all these news outlets, they're trying their best to get people to sign up a subscription, which really speaks a lot of volumes regarding to that, in my opinion. But anyway, let me have a look here and see. Turn to Outlook. Right, okay. Right, outline.com, and it keeps coming up as not supported. Well, that is just fantastic. Great. History will be rewritten. I can imagine that. Remember the Ugandan pastor? Exactly. Yeah, I can see. Don't remove the children. Remove the rainbow teachers. I believe all tall buildings work best. Right. Fair enough. That's fair enough. I am glad I went to school. My family life was effed. Not everyone can homeschool, and society needs schools. I can see where you're coming from with that. Definitely. It's just the problem with today is everything is so biased when it comes to the leftist agenda. It's actually completely it's ridiculous at this point. Let me see here real quick. Let's have a look here. They put plenty of regulatory roadblocks in place to make homeschooling as difficult as they can, and you have to do it and do I's and cross T's to stay compliant, right? Yeah, I can imagine it's going to be way harder for people to try and homeschooling their kids, especially nowadays. So, I've heard one story. Is there a few? I think there is a few from what I can gather, especially doing a bit of research into that. So, I've heard of one story. Is there a few? It's pure Satanism. Satan is real, which means God is real. Let me see here. Oh, is Woodlander in the chat? Hello, Woodlander. Thank you for watching the stream. Really appreciate you being here. Let me see here. That's good. Right. Okay. I'll definitely see. What I'll do is once it gets to 7 o'clock, I'll have a small break as in previous episodes, and I'll see if I can get that sorted out with the article in question. Because I have something else I also wanted to cover as well that just came to my attention before the stream started. So let me have a look here. The social aspect is the most important thing with school. Don't let your kids lose friends because of loopy teachers. Well, that's fair enough. I could see that. I was also going to say as well, it's important that with the social aspect, that does apply when it comes to school. You can also apply that when it comes to outside of school. So, they can become friends and hang around outside of school and then, play around the housing area. So I can see where you're coming from with that. at the same time, it can also be applied outside of school. But then again, I'm not saying you're wrong, Carl, or anything like that, but it's a good point to make. So parents need to get together. Maybe one can take two more to homeschool. That's fair enough. Right, okay. So what I'll do is I'll come back to that article later on and see if I can get that sorted. But for now, I have another piece of information to cover for tonight's episode. So I've got an image of it here because this was shared on the Telegram group of Patriotic Alternative Scotland. So you can kind of see that this is all going to be Scotland themed as what's going on this past week. Let me see if I can share the screen again and see from here. Now, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if anyone has seen this yet, but again, this was shared on PA Scotland's Telegram group. And it reads here, serve your community, police officer information session aimed at our BME communities across Scotland. Let me just also zoom in a bit, just in case if you guys can't see. So there we go. So let's have a look here. Police Scotland are hosting an information event aimed at encouraging people from minority ethnic communities to consider a career as a police officer. Throughout the event, attendees will learn about the recruitment process, receive inputs from serving BAME police officers, and have the opportunity to try the fitness test. The date of the event is Monday, the 23rd of August, 2021, from 6 p.m. till 9 p.m., where, of course, there's a location of where it's going to be held. Of course, more information about this is the recruitment email and so on and so forth. But it's... and of course, you got the usual suspects, the kinds of people they're trying to recruit here. So it's very similar. This information here is very similar to the BBC news, the BBC job application form for non-white people. So basically, with this, if you're white, don't apply because we're not looking for you lot. Instead, we're looking for non-white minority types. Again, just to increase that diversity quotas and all of that. So it's very blatant what they're trying to do here. So and the fact that they're actually posting this stuff out to the public is just beyond the joke. Because again, could you imagine? I mean, we all know this for certain, but could you all imagine if the races were all reversed? If it was the same type of outlet like this, but instead of looking for minorities, they were looking for whites only. Holy hell, it would be all over the news. It would be all over the news. You will never hear the end of it. And they would try to do everything they can to make white people look bad as humanly possible. Oh, this is a prime example of white privilege. You know, the same gay stuff we hear over and over again. But with this, just only for minority types, you know, all with that, looking for them to be recruited. Oh, no, that's fine. I mean, yeah, it may seem discriminatory towards white people, but that's okay because again, racism only happens when it comes to minorities. You know, like you can't be racist towards white people because you know racism is prejudice plus power or whatever the expression they use. So yeah, once again, it's beyond the joke with this point. That kind of doing this. Like I said, this was only came to my attention just now. So for more information and to reserve a space, please email recruitment. There's an email there. Provide your name, contact number, and what event you would like to attend. Please also send a request to join our closed Facebook page at Police Scotland Positive Action. There's a website, link, Twitter, and Facebook and whatnot. So I think it's definitely a good idea to possibly call this out on it. So hold on one second here. Oh, sorry. UELO, even chief and followers, even to you too. Thank you for watching the stream. Let me see. English Sailor. Indigenous applicants only is routine in Hungary, Poland, etc. And if they can do it, we can do it. Exactly. Believe it or not, but Sweden will probably start police education online only. We will get really bad, but state compliant police. Well, that definitely sounds really bad. Streaky Bacon, another kick in the balls of Whitey by getting BAME to police them. Exactly. There's a familiar face. Hello, No Chance. Thank you for watching the stream. Appreciate you being here. Let me see here just now. Oh, there's another comment from Ramblin' Rattlesnake. School of the West is a good homeschooling website from what I hear. All right, well, there you go. If you want a good website to showcase your kids for education purposes, then there you go, School of the West. I'm pretty sure Patriarch Alternative does have some education stuff for kids as well on the website, if I remember. So I'll have a quick look at that for you guys just real quick, because I'm pretty sure that it was not advertised, but it was brought up at some point. And that, speaking of Patriarch Alternative, after tonight's stream, of course, the PA Film Club will be live at 8 p.m. So what I will do is I will post the links in the chat for later on for people to check out. And I think tonight's film, Mark, Laura, Native is Concerned, and also Horace will be talking about tonight will be a film called This Is England. I have watched This Is England before, but that was like years ago, if I remember. At the time, I did kind of like the film. I'm not too sure how I would feel about it now because of my perspective on politics and whatnot, and also being a nationalist, like an ethno-nationalist. I'm not entirely too sure how I would feel about that film now. Because I watched, what was the film they covered before on PA Film Club? They had Edward Norton in it. Was it American History X? I think it was called. Because I watched that after watching their review of that film, and I managed to find it. I think it was on Sky Film or Sky Movies or something like that. I watched the full film and I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, it was excellent. The performances were really good. I could see why fellow nationalists would appreciate a film like American History X, but there you go. But there you go. That's the PA Film Club for tonight. They'll be talking about the film This Is England. So it's going to be really interesting to see their review of that film because, like I said, that film I haven't watched since like a long time ago. I'm not actually entirely sure. So let me see here. 1 second. Nefis warning. Rile groups up against the host community, then get them to police over them. Can't see any problems there. There you go. Can't wait for that. I cannot wait too, because I really do like the PA Film Clubs, but also the PA Book Club. But when it comes to the two of them, I do prefer the PA Film Club, and I think that's mainly because of me being a film. Well, I'm still a bit of a film fan at the moment, but not as much as I was maybe like a decade ago. Because I remember like a decade ago, I was like a big film buff at the time. I would watch a certain film, but not only watch the full film. Afterwards, I would watch the documentaries. I would read up about it, gain some information from the filmmakers themselves and whatnot, because I was really interested in that kind of stuff. Nowadays, I do still appreciate film, but not as much as I was, back then. So, education. Let me see. Alternative curriculum. Homeschooling is about here we go. This is what we're talking about. And I did see people in the chat that say that, yeah, PA does have stuff like this. So what I will do, if you guys want, I'll just post a link in the chat just now. So there you go. Please post a link of the PA film review if possible. I'll definitely do that, English Sailor. I will do that towards the end of the show. Well, first of all, there's the link for the PA alternative curriculum. So again, if you're a parent and you're thinking about either homeschooling your kids or wanting to teach your kids like a completely alternative curriculum, as it says with the page there, then there you go. It's right there for you guys to have. So it's excellent. Let me see. The films are rubbish, all woke and anti-white and anti-male. Yeah, I can definitely see that. There's a lot of films coming out that are just filled to the brim of propaganda. In fact, there's a lot of more modern films, two in particular I can think of, which I'm kind of glad that people brought up The Terminator earlier on because we were briefly talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger. But did anyone see the latest Terminator film? Was it Dark Fate, I think it was called? Now, I've not watched the film myself. I have no intention of watching it, but from what I heard, it's a complete train wreck of a film, filled to the brim of woke propaganda. It's a film that completely tarnishes the entire Terminator not just franchise, but the entire Terminator mythos or lore, whatever you want to call it. Bane police are much more likely to be involved in crime than stopping it. You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Streaky Beacon, because there was an article I've read, or I don't know if it was an article, but I did see this on Telegram of this Muslim woman or Arabic woman who was a police officer, but then they'd kind of dig up some information about her because she was in a protest trying to keep the peace by these, I think it was like an anti-COVID lockdown protest or anti-vaccination protest. I'm not entirely too sure. But there was a woman, as I mentioned earlier on, who tried to keep the peace but was kind of beating up some of the protesters. They did a bit of digging up about her, and apparently she had some connections with some, I don't want to say like terrorist groups, but but people who are same community as her but involved with criminal activity. So the tweeting cop woman. I think that's what we're on about. Yeah, because I did see that on Telegram either this past week or late last week. I'm not entirely too sure, but I did see something about that. So yeah, it was Palestinian. I do remember that. Although, just let me have a quick drink of my water and then continue on. It's just almost approaching 7 o'clock. So, as I said, I'll have a short 5 to 10 minute break. See if I can get something sorted out with that article because I really want to cover that article really badly. If I have to, because I did see on the website to join up for like a month's free subscription. If it has to come to that point to read the article, I'll do that for you guys, and then I'll see if I can cancel it right afterwards. So, because I'm not going to subscribe to the Telegraph by any means. So, Streaky Bacon, Chief Moody, History Debunked has been superb on crime stats by BAME cops. All right, I'll definitely see if I can check that out at some point. Because in fact, a lot of you guys have actually I've pointed that out before in previous episodes that. History Debunked. So I'll definitely see if I can have a check on that. So, play the video, please, Chief Moody. It's precisely 5 minutes. Right. Okay. Racist and terrorist tweets. Right. All right. Let's have a look at that. Sarah Mira, is it just to make sure if I get this right with the video in question? Is it the video as we're talking about just now? History Debunked. Because I want to see if I can get the right video for that, just in case. So, because if that's something we could watch, then we'll definitely do that. So, terrorist groups is about right. Oh dear. Right. Let me see. Let me have a look here. Staffs or staffs, whatever size hat he wears. So that's fair enough. English sailor. Fair enough. Let me see. Says I posted the link with that. Don't need that anymore. That's fine. History Debunked is good. I watch him every morning. All right. Well, there you go. It's clean, I promise. So that's fair enough. Well, what to do, Sarah Mare? If you don't mind, if you could post a link in the chat, and then I'll see if I can get that up, and then we can watch it together and see from there. So, because it sounds like the video in question sounds like something you'd want to watch. So we'll have a look at that and see from there. Let me see. Well, what was I going to say? Because we covered the BAME recruitment for Police Scotland, which that's just beyond the joke at this point. I will definitely touch upon that article with the Scottish 4-year-olds. Let me see here. I wonder if I can actually do that. Just no, it's not shared, right? That's fine. I want to make sure I'm careful with that. Okay. Okay, right. We'll definitely sort something out. Okay, let me see. Don't see the link just yet, so that's completely fine. I've also just noticed as well there's 50 people watching it, so that's watching the stream, I should say. So that's good. Scott's Armor has joined with us. Thank you, Scott's Armor. How you doing? Sorry, I'm late, troops. Good evening, Chief and friends. No worries, Scott's Armor. As long as you're here, that's the main thing. And of course, since you're here, I'll give you a shout out just now because tonight you will be streaming at 9 p.m. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Let me have a quick look because I want to make sure, because I know you're going to be live tonight, but I also want to make sure who you're going to be live with on your channel. So 1 second. Scott's Armor. Let's have a look and see. Sunday with the lads. Yep, the 15th of August, which of course is today at 9 p.m. So yes, I'll post a link in the chat as well. He's going to be live with both Resisting the Lies and of course No Chance. So definitely post a link in the chat as well. Boo, Scott's Armor, no chance. That's not right. Let me see here. There we go. So that's the link for Scott's Armor and this stream for tonight. There we go. It's called More Racism. What is it? Right. Let me have a look at that and see from here. See if I can find it just now. More Racism. Right. I'll see if I can find that. Okay. Perfect. That's fine. Perfect. Okay, so let's have a look at this here. So this is a video from Seramar. Yeah, pronounce that right? Yes, Seramar. There's a video of More Racism. What is it? So we'll just have a watch of this just now. As they point out, it's just about 5 minutes long. So we'll just give that a watch and then see from there. So still sharing. The audio is still good. Cheers, no worries, Seramar. You're very welcome. I'll also see if I can. Well, I'll watch the video first and then we'll start there. So full screen that. So we'll just give this a watch and then here we go. 3, 2, 1.
It's racist. It's racist. It's racist. What's racism? What's racist? Racist just means white. A racist is just a white person. An anti-racist is someone who's anti-white. Anti-racist is just a code word for anti-white. Again, we see the language. Like last week in Sweden, Swedish television came out, said on Facebook, you can't be racist towards white people. White people can't experience racism. Racism is something that comes from white people, right? So if you can't be racist towards white people, because racism is white people. White people are racists in the global homo ideolect. Whiteness, the state and the quality of being white is racism. In order to get rid of racism, we have to get rid of whiteness. We have to get rid of the white population. And we do that through mass non-white immigration. Mass non-white immigration into every Western nation is the final solution to the white population. Anti-racist is just a code word for anti-white, because racist just means white. I'm so sick and tired of watching white people in all of our Western nations cowering in fear. Oh, I'm not racist. That there's a brown guy with a bomb in it, but no, but I don't want to be accused of racism. Let's just let him blow up dozens of children. Let's just let them rape hundreds of thousands of English children. Because we don't want to be called racist. When they call you racist, they're calling you white, right? They speak in codes, these globalists. Racist just means white. Anti-racist is just a code word for anti-white. Anti-racism, in its purest, condensed state, is anti-nationism. Anti-nationism. Now, a nation is a people, a folk, an ethnicity. So, anti-racism deployed onto a nationality will lead to the destruction of that nationality. Like if you go into the First Nation reservations in America, what are they called? What, the Navajo, the Cherokee, the Apache, all of these so-called Indian nations, and you go, oh look, it's too red. It's too red here. Look at all of these red people. It's racist. We need to put in mass non-Indian, non-red, mass immigration into all of the First Nation territories. And if any of the nations, if the Apaches or the Cherokees or the Navajos object to this, well, then they're Nazis, aren't they? They're racists. I mean, if you were to do to any other group what is being done to white people, everybody would recognize that it's genocide. Right? Everybody would recognize that's genocide. The physical destruction of Western civilization via non-stop, never-ending, mass, non-Western immigration is genocide. They say they are anti-racist. No. What they are is anti-white. Anti-racist is just a code word for anti-white. Diversity is just a code word for white genocide.
There you go. That was a really good video. In fact, for that, Sarah, if you're watching, I'll subscribe to your channel right there, because it's not. Well, hopefully that this will not be the only video you do, but I hope you'll be making more content after that. In fact, let me just check out your channel real quick. 9 subscribers, obviously the 9th will but be myself. That's your first video. Well, you know what? Let me just do this for you right now, if you don't mind me doing so. Thank you for your attention. That's no worries. Let me just post a link in the chat just now. So it looks like, again, hopefully Saramar, I will make many. Well, that's good. So for that, Saramar, there is the link for Saramar's channel. So please, everyone, after watching that video, subscribe to Saramar. As he says, this is going to be the first of many videos to come on this channel. So there you go. Please give him your support. Thank you, lads. No worries. You're very welcome. So what I will do is at 7 o'clock, I'm going to have a 5 to 10 minute break. I'll get everything sorted out with that. I think I found another article to go over. Well, it's the same article about the what we talked about earlier on about the transgender 4-year-olds from the SMP. I think I have found an alternative article to look into that, because it's the same topic anyway. But what I will do is I'll see if I can find something to play you guys in the meantime. Let me see here. I'll play some music. Again, I will not be too long or anything like that. I'll literally be like 5 to 10 minutes, and then see from there what music to play. I don't know why that's in. Oops, 1 minute. Remove from music. I don't know why my live stream was there to begin with, but right. Let me play some. I'll play some chilled out music again, just for the time being, because like I said, I will not be long or anything like that at all. So, oops. Hold that paused. If it won't, there we go. Right, that should be it. Yeah, everyone's subbed to the channel. That's good. Excellent. Thank you guys for doing that, subbing to Saramar's channel. That's really good for you to do that. Let me see. Go and find out, maybe just in case with that. Right. Right, so I'll share it like this, so it just focuses on one tab, which would be this one here. Excellent. Right then. Like I said before, I will be back in just give us some new Scots tunes. It's not going to be anything like foreign or anything like that at all. So, what I'll do is I'll play this song again first for the time being. So, I'll be back in 5 or 10 minutes. I will not be long. So, 1 second, I'll be back. See you guys then.
Yes, we want to be free, live our lives as they should be. Here's the thing, well, that's nice. Every action has a price. We're meant to be much more than this, and find a home which we all miss. So it's time to grow up as we're ticking down the clock. Forever keep in mind, we're fighting for our kind, to learn from those before, our future made secure. We were meant to survive, to transcend, go forth and thrive. Find the light, leave behind all the things that made us blind. It's up to us to show the way, to hold the torch, come what may. We will do all we can till time's not running through our hands. Forever keep in mind, we're fighting for our kind, to learn from those before, our future made secure.
Back on here. There we go. I'm back. So that's me back, ladies and gentlemen, from my break. It was a bit longer than expected, but I got another article is to do with the Scottish 4-year-olds, so, transitioning and whatnot. So we got that sorted out. So we had the privilege of listening to 3 songs. The first song in question was "The Sound of Silence." So my apologies for that. Second one was a song from Master Mugen, I think it was called. And the one, of course, we just listened to just now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. So especially with the first song being total dead silence. So let me see what to do here. So share the screen because I managed to sort out the article situation in question. And we'll just get right on to that just now. So let's see here. So the article in question is from the Daily Mail. Sorry, excuse me, just block that. Scotland will let people change gender age 4 without their parents' consent and tell teachers not to question the child's request to choose a new name or use a different toilet. That's just dire, that. Absolutely dire. The Scottish Government says school children age 4 can change their gender. Of course they can, Scottish Government. Of course they can. Young people's wishing to switch a gender must be supported and listened to. Okay, the newly implemented guidance has been described as shocking. Of course, why wouldn't it be shocking? Why wouldn't it be shocking? Excuse me. Schools have been told to have transgender books on their curriculum. This is just, again, this is only happening in Scotland. But like I said earlier on, there's a possibility this may go across the entirety of the UK. So just be warned with that. So let me have a look here and see. Children as young as 4 will be able to change their gender at school without their parents' consent under guidance introduced in Scotland, as we mentioned earlier on. Any people who decides they want to switch gender must be supported and listened to in school following the Scottish Government advice. The guidance applies in primary schools where the youngest children are only 4 or 5, because recognition and development of gender identity can occur at a young age, right? So is this whole, from what I know of this, is this idea of if a child, regardless if they're a boy or a girl, if they do anything that's out of the norm of their gender, then apparently that's a sign that they're actually that gender. So, for example, right, if there was a point where, say, like a girl age 3, 4, 5 years old, if they do something that's not like girly, that's part of the gender norms, then apparently that's a sign that, oh, then they must be a boy deep down inside. You know, it's just utter ridiculousness as that. You know, when I was growing up, like children at that age, you know, if you did something out of the norm, then it would be looked at as, oh, well, that's not anything too major. They'll continue on being the gender that they are, whether it be male or female. But of course, nowadays, if they do something out of the norm, then that must mean they must be a tranny. So it's complete ludicrous society we're living in just now. Let me see here. It also tells teachers not to question a child who says they want to transition to live as a boy or a girl, and instead ask for their new name and pronouns. This is just, it's just. I shouldn't be laughing at this because I know this is the definition of child abuse, but it's the ludicrous nature of this. Like the fact that the Scottish government actually thinks this is a good idea. And honestly think there's not going to be any form of backlash whatsoever. They are sorely mistaken. Sorely mistaken. So this is an image here of Shirley Ann Somerville, Scottish Education Secretary, who, from what I know, is a massive feminist. So, of course, there you go. Let me see. The guidance outlines how school pupils can support transgender, also how schools can support transgender young people while ensuring that the rights of all peoples are fully respected. See, this whole idea of, the children, they have rights too. They have every right to do this and that, and we should respect that. No, we shouldn't respect that because they're children, okay? The people who should be in charge of the children's lives are the parents. The parents should be there as a form of guidance of how a children should behave, should act in our society. And the fact that the Scottish government and any other government like the Scottish government want to completely destroy that, they are the ones that are trying to destroy the family unit, the traditional family unit, if you will. Schools have been told they do not have to inform parents if a pupil informs them they wish to change gender. See, we all know why they don't want to inform the parents, because they know for a fact that the parents will not be happy with this whatsoever. So it's very telling that they really want to keep this hush-hush as humanly possible to the parents, because if they were to tell the parents would completely reject this notion completely. Primary and secondary schools have also been told to put books featuring transgender people on the curriculum, allow pupils to choose which changing rooms or toilets to use, because I'm sure that's not going to turn out complete tragedy or anything like that at all whatsoever, and consider introducing a gender-neutral uniform. So basically, they have to dress exactly the same as each other. So it's absolutely ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous. But the guidance was branded shocking and led to concerns that children are being allowed to make life-changing decisions at too young of an age. Of course, because, again, like I mentioned, 4-year-olds or any other age younger than that, the children at that age do not understand the idea of gender. Nor do they even care about that. They just want to be children and just play toys or go with it or play in the school playground and play with their friends and whatnot. You know, they don't care, nor would they even understand the concept of sex or gender. Like I said before, this is just complete utter child abuse. The advice says some young people are exploring their gender identity in primary school settings. Primary schools need to be able to meet the needs of these young people to ensure they have a safe, inclusive, and respectful environment in which to learn. A section on changing name and recording sex says children simply need to tell others informally that they want to use a different name and that they don't need to record this formally on their official school record. Advice to school staff on what to do if a child wants to discuss their gender includes asking what name and pronoun you should use to address them, which is... This is ridiculous. This is just beyond a joke at this point. Like, this is like, if this was, you know how all this woke stuff was going on like a decade ago. Like, this is something that this would be looked at as a parody or like a form of satire, making fun of lefty types. You know, like they would bring stuff like this up. No, this is reality. This is actually real. This isn't like a form of satire or a joke or anything like that at all. This is 100% real. This should be taken seriously. Like, this is beyond a joke at this point. Section on I think we addressed that already. Sorry about that. It also says that they should ask if their family are aware they are considering their gender identity, but does not suggest that the teacher should contact them. The guidance document also states that no Scottish law compels people to use the toilets that correspond to the gender they were assigned at birth. Right, again, if there's a male toilet and a female toilet, I think everyone would know that they're destinations for a certain group of people. If you're a male, you should go to the male bathroom. If you're a female, obviously you should go to a female bathroom. And like I said before, if they're trying to take that away because of, I don't know, inclusivity or anything like that at all, I'm sure it's not going to turn out to be disastrous or anything like that at all if if there's no longer going to be non-specific gender toilets at this point. Like, I'm sure there's not going to be any form of problems ahead or anything like that at all. Let me see here. Where was I? Oh yeah, Marion Calder, director of the For Women Scotland campaign group, said, to be transgender, you have to have a diagnosis of gender dysphoria. So another way, basically, mental illness or anything like that at all. So what are they thinking? Parents will be very concerned to be reading this document. Scottish Education Secretary Shirley Ann Somerville said, this guidance outlines how schools can support transgender young people while ensuring that the rights of all peoples are fully respected. It provides schools with practical suggestions. The guidance is not prescriptive, and does not promote transitioning. Right, okay. It does not does not promote transitioning. Right, but you're wanting to encourage pupils to change their pronouns and change their names. Right, but you're not. But don't worry, folks. They're not promoting transitioning or anything like that at all. Right? Okay, I'll buy that for $1. So it's just ridiculous. I think this is a video that's about 30 seconds long. We can have a quick watch of this and then continue on from there. So let's have a look.
I'd have no problem whatsoever if my child came.
Fuck, it's from the GB News. All right, I know it's from the GB News, but we'll look past that for now and just have a look at this real quick.
Came out as gay or as transgender. I really wouldn't. I just want them to be happy, to be free, and to feel comfortable in their own skin. But I'd like to have those conversations with them myself. I'd like to deal with that at home, and I don't think that's too much to ask. The world is confusing enough for 4-year-olds. When I was that age, I was probably running around naked, picking my nose and playing with my imaginary best friend, which was probably a unicorn, and not much has changed there. Not having my head filled with existential thoughts about my gender identity by a newly qualified primary school teacher.
Right, fair enough. Let me close that. I don't need to watch that. Here we go. Why does that keep bringing up? Go away. Right, let's see here. Is anything more to that? Well, I guess that's the end of the article. So let's have a look at some of the comments. Fuck off. There we go. So I wonder what the comments will have to say. Let me have a look and see here. Comments below have not been moderated, so it looks like it's going to be a complete free-for-all. Let's have a look. Loon doesn't know what sex babies are. What is wrong with education in this country? Again, that's a very fair point to make, and I completely agree with that. A 4-year-old simply can't understand gender differences the way adults do. Allowing them to use any bathroom or be gender fluid is just insane. Some lasting damage can be done as well. I hope Scotland is prepared for the storms coming their way. What's it written by Confluence, somewhere in the United States. Again, fair point to me. I completely agree with that. Most of the boys wear skirts anyway. Wait a minute, is that supposed to be a jab at the kilt? First of all, it's not a skirt, it's a kilt. There's a fine difference between that, okay? Fine difference between that. Read the guidance intended. It mixes the changing rooms and toilets. Not nice when girls are just going through puberty. It's insanity. Show more comments. Because a 4-year-old can make life-changing decisions, I'm assuming that's meant to be like sarcastic, which again, I can understand why it would be sarcastic. Because again, the idea that a 4-year-old can make life-changing decisions is completely balls to the wall insanity, as we all know. This is Stonewall's doing. Stonewall runs Scotland now, pure evil. Not my kids, not my problem. Oh yeah, because from London. Well, guess what, mate? It's happening in Scotland, but it's going to happen all across the UK at some point. So, yeah, you might want to eat your words after that. Only one life. You might want to eat your words at some point. How much are the pharmaceutical companies paying the Scottish governments to change the laws? The thousands of people that have detransitioned back to their biological sex will admit that they had an underlying issue that needed to be resolved. Well, there you go. Most people who, I mean, this is going to be a very like a risky topic, but when it comes to the topic of transgenderism, transitioning, there have been multiple stories of people who go through the procedure of changing from one gender to another, and most of the time, those people completely regret it, because and believe they made a gigantic mistake. They either transition back if they can, or live through their change, and of course, completely regretting the idea, or worse of all, they commit suicide because of it. And hence why, from what I remember, the suicide rate when it comes to transgender people has risen from, I believe it was like 20 or 30% to like 50% or something like that, which is a huge amount from what I remember. So, of course, is a major problem with that. So this idea of trying to teach kids that they can make it such a life-changing decision as transitioning from one gender to another is beyond ludicrous at this point. They're basically wanting these kids dead at this point. Maybe a claim to say, but again, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. So, surely the Scots aren't swallowing all of this. Why is Sturgeon so popular? She is sanctioning child abuse, but why are Boris and the Scottish Conservatives not speaking out? Could it be that they are willing to sacrifice children's lives in order to court woke popularity and approval? This is seriously disturbing. Again, Scarlet Ibis from London, thank you very much for pointing that out. That's a very good comment to make. And of course, the last one here from Poppykin66 from Bournemouth, the United Kingdom. I'm speechless. Of course, and again, understandably so. Let's see. The views expressed in the contents above are those of the users and do not necessarily reflect the views of Mail Online. Well, no shit, Sherlock. If there are actually more comments, I just want to have a quick look and see, because yeah, there's tons more. We'll just read a few more comments and then I'll continue on with the chat, interacting with you guys, of course. At 4 years old, I wanted to be a butterfly. I wanted to be a boy if boys wore shorts to school and didn't want to dress. How many 4-year-olds can even tell the time or write their name in straight line these days? Fair point to make. At that age, they're learning about emotions like kindness, anger, frustration, patience, sharing, etc. Gender identity, in a way adults understand, it is nothing like a 4-year-old's understanding. I doubt they understand it at all. Well, there you can see, again, my points exactly, as I mentioned before. When you minus God, you plus Satan. For a point to make. Remove God, and this is what you can expect. No moral compass / evil. Again, I can definitely see that. Absolutely mental. The world has gone crazy. The wokes have invaded. Can't someone put a stop to the madness? I always thought there was something strange about wee Jimmy Cranky. Her neck looks too thick to be a woman's neck. She's trans for sure. That's from Simon Love. From Benny from Glasgow, Scotland. The world has gone completely mad, letting 4-year-olds make decisions on their sexuality. Talk about confusing a child. We are all to blame. We've allowed the woke generation to decide how our lives are going to be run. Now they are even taking control of our children out of our hands. No wonder the world is in such a state. Again, valid point. Valid point, I should say. Vile people, of course, and the Scottish vote for these SNP loons. Well, see, that's the thing, right? All of this would never be prevented if we didn't vote in the SNP. Now, I know there's an argument to be made of, well, which party would be better? I mean, none of the Scottish parties would be better than the SNP. In fact, to be quite honest with you, the only party I can think of would be way better to support would be, of course, I was about to say the SNP. Holy shit! Would be the patriotic alternative. But hopefully they could become a party at some point one day. But besides that, there's really no any political party in Scotland that you can pick and choose from. They're all completely cut. But again, this would all be prevented if the SNP were never in to begin with. I mean, honestly, could you imagine if Scotland were to become quote unquote an independent nation, but really it's just becoming a European state, but that's beside the point. Could you imagine if that were to happen and it was fully run under the SNP? I think there would be an argument to be made that it would be far, far worse than what we're seeing just now if Scotland were to become an independent nation, or in this case, becoming a member of the European Union or an EU state. Scotland has been infiltrated. Well, the kilt is part of the national dress. It's not a dress or a skirt, it's a kilt. This is unbelievable and an absolute disgrace, absolutely. It's the aim to remove all parental rights. This is completely wrong so on so many levels, and leaves children wide open to abuse, absolutely. How can any parent be sure their child is not being manipulated by adults with an agenda or by a need to achieve targets? Politicians these days seem morally bankrupt. I could definitely understand that, absolutely. There's, again, an argument to be made that almost all politicians are basically backed by a certain group of people that are completely backing this whole woke agenda. So, and we all know who those types of people are. So, these are a lot of crazy people out there. Oh, sorry, there are a lot of crazy people out there. It's horrible what some people think and do nowadays. Princess Nicola has decreed that the SNP has guardianship of children in Scotland and can overrule parents. Well, it does definitely sound like Scotland is a full-blown communist state at this point. This is criminal, absolutely. How crazy people are to think that this is the right thing to do. Crazy and stupid. I cannot stand to even think about it. Yes, of course, a toddler that can't even reach the light switch or make toast. Some can't even work the TV remote control, but apparently is capable of having the autonomy to choose their gender identity, which Womble decided this was a good move. We cranky, this is pure insanity. Only in Haggisland. Well, of course, it's only happening in Scotland, but again, it's more likely going to happen all across the UK at some point. They are wrong in their chuffing heads, or what sounds like a great way for a teacher to get a serious beating. In Minecraft, I would imagine. And last, I'll just read one last comment, and here it reads: "Where is the righteous anger? Every single person needs to stand up and call for the public execution of everyone involved in these decisions. What has happened to people that they're so weak? Every single able person, get the hell out of Scotland." No. The normal people in Scotland, they shouldn't need to leave. The types of people that definitely need to leave Scotland are the woke types. You know, all of that. People like, of course, Nicola Sturgeon. People like Ian Blafford. People like Hamza Yusuf or Hamza Useless, if you will. All these people that are trying to promote this this very woke agenda, they need to leave this country, because to me they're nothing but absolute traitors. Absolute definition of the word traitor. Let me have a look here and see. I think there was another familiar face. Scottish narrator. Trans 4-year-olds is what Robert the Bruce would have wanted. Yeah, I'm sure he would have wanted that. But thank you for the comment, Scottish narrator. It's good to see you in the chat. Let's see. Bunch of kilt lifters. This really is 1984. I mean, it's a cliche to say at this point, but again, but I can understand why people would make the comparison, because, you know, A decade ago, if you were to say like, "Oh, this is something out of 1984," people would roll your eyes at you and think, "Oh, come on, really? Really? You're going to make a comparison of today's society with the book 1984?" But again, it's a very valid argument to make, because if you pay attention to today's politics and seeing what's actually going on, you could definitely see that everything that's going on just now is completely something you would see in 1984, the of course George Orwell novel. Ceramar, they will legalize pedophilia and arrest you for hate. Oh, I wouldn't. Yeah, you know what? Some people may think, oh no, that's a bit too much of a reach, right? But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if something like that were to come to pass at some point, because for those who still have Twitter, and I'm actually surprised that I still have Twitter at this point, but I'm pretty sure you all know the little community on Twitter called MAPS, or Minor Attracted People. These are some of the biggest degenerates I've ever seen on any social media platform, and they're still there to begin with. You know, these are people who call themselves MAPS, or Minor Attracted People. These are people that claim that they're attracted to minors, but they would never commit any horrendous act whatsoever. They only want to fantasize it, which is just, that alone, of course, is absolutely just flat out disgusting in my opinion. But something like that on Twitter, and Ceramar making a point like that, they will legalize pedophilia. You know what? Some people may say that's very like a what's the term? Jumping the shark or anything like that. But you know what? The way things have been going, I wouldn't be surprised if they'll try and legalize pedophilia at this point. They'll try and make up some bullshit excuse about like, oh well, you know, they have as much of a right as you do. Like, it should be fine as long as they're fantasizing about it, you know, as long as they're not really harming a child. It's like, no. I don't give a fuck if an adult fantasizes it or actually doing the act. The fact that they actually think about fantasizing minors is absolutely disgusting, and I think people who are like that should be punished severely for having these thoughts, let alone commit an awful act like that towards any child for that matter. I just, not just Twitter with the MAP community, but the fact that there's people that actually think that we should respect pedophiles and we should treat them with kindness and respect. No, fuck you. I'm not going to support or be civilized to someone who wants to fuck a minor. Like, no, I'm not going to tolerate something like that. I'm never will tolerate anything like that. I'll just have a quick look at my phone real quick. Let's see. That's fine. From Woodlander, this shit is going to end badly, very, very badly. Yeah. I don't want that to be like that, but again, of course, I don't want to come off as blackpilling here, but wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're going to do at this point. Decent people have got to make a stand, surely. This can't go on forever, can it? Well, you think, Gamma Sandwich, I mean, the only white pilling aspect of that is there are people that are actually taking a stand against this and actually protesting, but there will be a lot of other people in this country who will just bend over and just take it, which is just a sad fact of reality, but it is what it is. I mean, hell, just look what's going on with COVID-19. You know, a lot of people were afraid of that, and just look what happened when the whole vaccination started coming along. A lot of people in this UK started to just take it because they basically just want to be safe from this horrible virus going along. From English Sailor, another topic, police chief. It's making me nauseous now. I can understand English Sailor. My apologies for that. It's a sad fact of reality what we're going through at this point. So, and it needs to be called out for it. It definitely needs to be called out. Black pills. My pills are so black, not even light can escape them. It will end in violence. Politics is dead to us. Yeah, I can see where everyone's coming from with that. English Rose, hello. Thank you for watching the stream. It's the first step to normalizing pedophilia, and then it will be legalized. Our societies have a sickness. Yeah, it's going to come to that fact. I mean, we all remember what happened. What was it, last year with the release of the film Cuties on Netflix? I mean, everyone. I mean, I've talked about this before, but everyone was talking about it, of just the complete degeneracy that film was promoting. And you have all these other sick bastards who are supporting the film, talking about, well, you know, that this is what is everyone making a big deal about this for? It's just a movie, so what do you have to talk about? Southern Dingo made this point before, that something like Cuties comes along and many people will be outraged by it, but then you'll get some form of people that are just like, oh, well, why are you making such a big deal about this? And of course, it snowballs from there of trying to normalize it. And of course, it gets implemented into society. So I'll definitely move on from that, because I know it's making people nauseous because of the subject matter itself, which I can understand. But it needs to be talked about, because this is something that it is the first step of them trying to normalize it. And if they do that, then it's going to be legalized. It needs to be legal. It's going to be legalized. And of course, it's something that definitely needs to be talked about, because it needs to be called out for what it is, of course. Let me have a look here and see. Scottish narrator again. Black-pilled mate. Mate, I am just tarred and pilled. Scotland has ideological rabies, and everyone is worse off for it. There's another one from Scott Sarmer. Nuke it all, then build back white. Fair enough. Linda Hunter, thank you for watching the stream. Hello, fellows. Hello, fellows. The wee hour here as per usual. Thank you for watching the last hour, Linda. I really appreciate that. This is child grooming. Yeah, it is child grooming. No name, definitely. Jojo Gizmo. I've heard that some members of SNP have links to PIE, the pedophile information exchange. I have heard about that, and if that's definitely true, then it's disgusting. It really is utterly disgusting. From Delta Kroska 125, Morgoth Doom and Gloom. Right. Okay, so I'll definitely move on from that. I'll cover the last topic. Now, I was going to talk about this topic on this past Thursday's episode 20, but I didn't really get around to it. And I know it's been talked about to death, but let me see if I can find the articles themselves. Hold on. Let me see here. Right, perfect. Okay, let me just get back onto this one here. Also, just want to make sure I get it all in the chronological order. So take that off. Let's see here. Do not want to save. Now, I was going to talk about this past Thursday is all about Hamza Yusuf. Right, so let me see if I can get the first article here. Hopefully, they're all in chronological order, because there has been a bit of an update regarding to this current situation or this current event. Monday, 2nd of August. Yep, that's fine. That's the first one. Of course, it's from The Guardian, but, we'll see from there. Next one's from Sky News. What we said. Last one's from the BBC. Second of August. The last one. Yeah, so the last one will be. Let me see here. Yep, from that. That's fine. Okay. Perfect. Now, the last thing I need to bring up is the tweet. Two capture images from Hamza's original tweet. That's the first one, and then the second one here. Yep, there we go. Perfect. We've got them all ready to go. Excellent. Right. Okay, so I'm not going to cover the full. Cover the full article themselves. I'll just briefly touch upon them, and then we'll see from there. So share the screen, share audio, just in case. Don't want to do the same mistake as I did during my break, where you listen to dead silence, of course. But let me have a look here and see just now. So the first one from The Guardian. Bear with me here with that just now. Scottish Health Secretary claims nursery discriminated against daughter. SNP's Hamza Yusuf alleges school refused to offer places to 3 children with Muslim names. Let's have a look here. So, of course, it's all completely BS, which I'll get into in just a short second. One of Scotland's most senior Muslim politicians have lodged a complaint against the nursery over suspicions it discriminated against his two-year-old daughter. Hamza Yusuf, the Scottish Health Secretary, alleges a preschool nursery in in Broughty Ferry near Dundee refused to offer places to 3 children with Muslim names, including his daughter Amal, yet found space for children with Western-sounding names. Yusuf and his wife Nadia El Nakla, hope if I'm pronouncing that right, have complained to the care inspectorate, the sector's regulator in Scotland, asking it to investigate whether the nursery Little Scholars had discriminated on the basis of either ethnicity or religion. In the thread on Twitter, Yusuf said, "It was not a step my wife and I have taken lightly." He added, "I cannot tell you how angry I am. As a father, all I wanted to do is protect my girls. Yet age 2, I believe my daughter has faced discrimination." Here we go. He's going to try and make some discrimination cards. So first minute he's Scottish, but then the next minute, of course, for political convenience, he's then Muslim or Pakistani or whatever, which really makes you think, doesn't it? Really makes you think. If this has not happened to me, I'm not sure I would have believed it could happen in 2021. How many other families has this happened to? So, of course, if you want to read through the rest of the article yourself, here's from The Guardian. I'll just briefly talk about the one from, let me see, from Sky News. Hold on. Here, because like I said, I'm not going to touch upon the articles fully, but here's the one from The Guardian if you want to check it out for yourselves. And then I'll just talk about Sky News article here. So it's basically the exact same. Nursery denied allegations from Scottish Health Secretary Hamza Yusuf that it discriminated against family by not offering daughter place. Hamza Yusuf alleges that 2 days after the family's application was rejected, a wife friend was told that there was availability for her son, but the nursery rejects this allegation, saying it is extremely proud of being open and inclusive to all. So I'll just read through this article, and I'll have a look through the tweets as well. That does say, basically confirms the idea that Hamza is absolutely full of shit, and we'll definitely see why. A nursery has denied an allegation from Scotland's Health Secretary that it discriminated against his family by not offering his daughter a place. According to Hamza Yusuf, Little Scholars Nursery in Broughty Ferry, Dundee, had said there was no space for his daughter, who, of course, 2 years old, Amal. His wife, Nadia El Nakla, had emailed the nursery in May to ask if there were any places available, according to the Daily Record newspaper, which first reported the story. So let me have a look here and see if I could find the tweets themselves. I don't need that anymore. There's one. It doesn't matter what my position or how senior in government I may be, some will always see me, my wife, and children by our ethnicity or religion first. Well, of course, because you're not a native Scotland. Like, yeah, you were born in this country, but ethnically speaking, you're not Scottish. You're Pakistani origin. I'm sorry to say that, but that is the fact of reality, Hamza. So either you accept that and go back to your native homeland, or honestly shut up and just accept what it is. We have given Little Scholars Nursery every opportunity for an explanation for the disparity in treatment. None has been forthcoming. Now, here is the let me see, it was a tweet if I remember. Oops, 1 second. Here we go. A spokesman for Little Scholars Nursery, Broughty Ferry, added, in addition to our owners being of Asian heritage, across more than a decade, we have regularly welcomed both children and staff from a range of different religions, cultural, ethnic, and racial backgrounds, including 2 Muslim families currently. So there you go. That completely debunks the whole narrative that Hamza Yusuf was trying to spin for what he's trying to say that the nursery was trying to be racist or discriminatory towards his race or religious background. So that right there should completely debunk Hamza Yusuf's point about the nursery is racist and whatnot and blah blah blah. But it's not. It's really not. So we did. I did see that message from the spokesman from the nursery itself. Did they use subversive tactics, false name? There's a strong possibility with that. From what I remember hearing about that, apparently Hamza asked some friends of his to try and register their children to the nursery as well, and apparently they got word back that their children were accepted. Never mind the fact that the nursery owners were of Asian heritage to begin with, but no, that doesn't matter, of course. Muslim MP in a mass bullies white nursery. Yeah, of course. Let's see here. His reference to position and senior government just highlights his sense of entitlement. Exactly. Exactly that, Rob D. Exactly. From Tina, and Hamza Yusuf want to act like he despises British people, so he gets what he wants. And well, no, that's a very valid point, because there is that infamous video of him in the Scottish Parliament, saying white this and white that, and then of course something like this gets put onto him, and of course what happens, he doesn't like it. So it's almost like as if it's like one rule for one group of people and a completely different rule for Hamza. In this case, he's a complete absolute tool of a politician, and this is why no one should ever take him seriously whatsoever. Who would want to bump into that ghost shagger at the nursery gates when you're picking your bearings up? It's a valid point to me. So because of all of that, you think after that quote from the spokesperson of the nursery, you think this would all be completely debunked, right? Of course not. Well, hold on. You're just as British as you, bro. The classic Ricky Doolan not questioning, but quotes from Ricky Doolan. If they have a British passport, they're British. Now, you think after all of that would have been completely, it would stop there, right? No, of course not. Let me get into this article here from the BBC. This is how much of a massive douchebag Hamza Yusuf really is, and I'll show you why in just a short second. Just pop this up here real quick. Again, from the BBC News. Just get back onto this. Here we go. So, Hamza Yusuf launches legal action over Dundee nursery discriminations. Yeah, so now they're going as far as opening a legal action towards the nursery itself. So Health Secretary Hamza Yusuf and his wife have launched legal action against a Dundee nursery, claiming it discriminated against their daughter. Mr. Yusuf and Nadia said Little Scholars in Dundee said it had no availability after applying for 2-year-old Amal. They said applications submitted by friends and family for white Scottish-sounding names were accepted. Again, never mind the fact that the nursery itself even said that the founders were of Asian heritage. That doesn't matter. What matters is they're having only white children into the nursery, and their daughter is being discriminated against. I mean, does it not come into play? I just noticed this just now, but I don't know if you guys in the chat will agree with me, but this just kind of comes off as Hamza Yusuf is using their daughter as a crutch to make some political like point or something like that. Which if that is the case, this just makes Hamza look like an even bigger scumbag, because you're basically using your daughter as some political shield to spread your woke agenda bullshit. And it's just if that really is the case, then not only is he a complete douchebag for using his daughter like that, but it's complete utter disgusting what he's doing here. Absolutely disgusting. Let me see. The nursery denies the allegation and said it will respond in due course. Of course, we did see the response from the nursery spokesmen themselves. The couple solicitor, here we go, Amir Anwar, said it was alleged that Nadia and her daughter were subjected to direct discrimination in breach of the Equality Act 2010. Of course, Anwar would be involved in this. Of course, he would be involved in this. Let me see. Mr. Anwar said an action would be raised at Dundee Sheriff Court if settlement proposals, a public apology, and compensation said paid to an anti-racist charity were not made within 2 weeks. Mr. Anwar said it is alleged that when on 3 separate occasions, beginning with Nadia, attempts were made to secure a nursery place for a child with an Asian/Muslim name. I thought Muslim was not a race, but whatever. The applicant was told to complete a registration form and then were told no spaces were available. Following the above refusals, attempts were made to secure a nursery place for his child with a white-sounding non-Muslim name. On all 3 separate occasions, the nursery place was offered, and spaces were offered without the registration form being completed. See, I just thought of this just now. I wonder what it would be like if the races were reversed. If it was a Muslim-owned, say, like nursery, or even if it was a nursery that was owned by Hamza Yusuf's wife or anything like that, would they accept a white-sounding name? Because I would guarantee you this, folks, I think that would not be the case whatsoever. I think it would be fine for them to do that towards a white family than what's happened to them in this situation going on. Let me see here. Also said previously that I had regularly welcomed children and staff from a range of backgrounds, including 2 Muslim families. Currently, a spokesman for the nursery said it has received correspondence from a couple solicitor. He added, Little Scholars is extremely proud of being open and inclusive to all, and we're deeply saddened that anyone would think otherwise. Our owners are themselves of Asian heritage, as we mentioned earlier on, and for more than a decade, we have regularly welcomed both children and staff from a range of different religions, cultural, ethnic, and racial backgrounds. But Yusuf himself doesn't care about that. He just wants to make a bullshit political point, and that's going to be the end of that just now. So again, it's just complete madness. Yeah, even someone in the chat mentioned, Delta Muslim isn't a race. Look at Czechia. Yeah, well, there you go. A point I just made earlier on. My children have American passports, but they're not Native American. Well, there you go. That's a point being made with that. Of course, Islam isn't a species. Well, there you go. That's a prime example of that. Yusuf and I were a couple of traditional Scottish names right there. Yeah, I know, right? Very traditional sounding names. Please show the Team Build Solar Power Tuk article. I need to laugh. Oh man, Team Build Solar Power Tuk. Well, Johnny, Powell, thank you for bringing that up, but unfortunately we're coming to the end of the stream tonight. But what we'll do is let me just write that down in my notes here, and I can maybe bring this up for maybe Thursday's episode. I'm not entirely too sure, so hold on. Team builds, what was it? Build solar power Tuk. That definitely sounds funny. We can have a look at that for next week and see from there. Solar powered Tuk. I don't know what that means, but what we'll do is join up, Powell. I'll have a look at that and see if I can bring that up for Thursday's episode. If not, I'll bring it up on next week's episode, next Sunday. Because like I said, I might have a guest on Thursday, but I'm not sure if that's going to be confirmed yet or not, but we'll see from there. So, excellent. Well, what I will do, guys, is it was to the right of the last link. Right. We'll definitely check that out next week and see from there. So, but what we'll see now, folks, is it's just approaching 8 o'clock. I know the PA Film Club is going to be starting just any second here. So what I will do now is I'll post the links for the PA Film Club. That would be for Mark's Odyssey channel, Laura's DLive channel, and also I'll post the link for Mark's Entropy link as well. So let me see here, copy link. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Post this here. There's Mark's Odyssey channel link for the stream. What else do I need? I also need Laura's DLive channel link. Copy that and then post it here. And lastly, I'll post Mark's Entropy link as well. So if you have any questions to ask Mark or Laura or Navis Concern or even Horace, then the Entropy link will be in the chat as well. So just write a question for them in the Entropy link, and there you go. So So sort of fine and dusted. Excellent. So there's a link for PA Film Club. So hopefully you all go over there as soon as possible. That's just now 8:00. So tell them I've sent you if you want to. But in the meantime, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into tonight's show. Hopefully you've all enjoyed tonight. And I'll see you guys on Thursday with the guest. Hopefully they will be appearing for Thursday's episode 22. And what we'll do for now is that I will select a song for the outro, and hopefully you guys will jump over and watch the PA Film Club, and we'll see from there. So what song to play us out with? In fact, I know it's a good song to play us out with, because we kind of played a song from this musician earlier on, so let me see if I can find the other song from them. Yeah, this one. Excellent. Right. Well, again, thank you very much for watching. This is Chief Moody. You have been watching the Mood of the Nation podcast, and I'll see you on Thursday with episode 22 at 6 p.m. You're very welcome, Aunt Sally. Thank you for watching. But anyway, thank you all very much for watching. This is Chief Moody signing out, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care, stay safe, and good night.
Yes, we want to be free, live our lives as they should be. Here's the thing, well, that's nice. Every action has a price. We're meant to be much more than this, and find a home which we all miss. So it's time to grow up as we're ticking down the clock. Forever keep in mind, we're fighting for our kind, to learn from those before, our future made secure. We were meant to survive, to transcend, go forth and thrive, find the light, leave behind all the things that made us blind. It's up to us to show the way, to hold the torch, come what may. We will do all we can till time's not running through our hands. Forever keep in mind, we're fighting for our kind, to learn from those before, our future made secure.